Here is coffee for you, boss.
Emma Chin stood at the marble kitchen island, her hands trembling slightly as she stirred honey into her morning tea. At 32, she had everything money could buy. The penthouse apartment overlooked the city skyline. Her tech company had just been valued at $300 million. Designer clothes filled her walk-in closet, but her heart felt empty. She glanced at the man standing by the counter. David, her husband of 4 years, was scrolling through his phone. They hadn't really talked in months. Not the way they used to. These days, their conversations were about schedules, meetings, and bills. Nothing more. "I have back-to-back meetings today," David said without looking up. "Don't wait for me for dinner." Emma nodded. She couldn't remember the last time they had eaten together. As David left, the apartment fell silent. Emma walked to her home office, ready to dive into another 16-hour workday. That's when she noticed something on the hallway table. A simple white envelope with her name written in careful handwriting. She opened it slowly. Inside was a birthday card. Not an expensive one. Just a plain card from the grocery store. But the message inside made her freeze. "Dear Mrs. Chun, today is my birthday. I am 60 years old. I have worked in many homes. But I want to tell you something before I leave. You remind me of myself when I was young. Always busy. Always chasing. Never stopping. I lost my family that way. My daughter grew up without really knowing me. My husband left because I was never present, even when I was home. Now I am alone. Please don't make my mistake. The money will always be there. The success will always call you. But the people who love you won't wait forever. With respect and hope, Margaret." Emma's hand shook as she read it again. Margaret, their housekeeper for the past year. Quiet, kind Margaret who always had a gentle smile. She had resigned last week, saying she was moving to another city. Emma hadn't even asked why, hadn't thanked her properly, hadn't really seen her as a person with her own story. She looked around the empty apartment. When had it become so cold? When had she stopped noticing the little things? David used to bring her flowers. She used to cook his favorite meals. They used to laugh together, dream together, hold hands while watching old movies. Now they were strangers living under the same roof. Emma's phone buzzed. Another meeting reminder. Another deal to close. Another million to make. She stared at it for a long moment, then did something she hadn't done in years. She turned it off. She called David. He answered on the fourth ring, sounding distracted. "Emma, I'm about to go into a meeting. Can this wait?" "No," she said softly. "It can't. I need to tell you something. I've been a terrible wife. I've been so focused on building an empire that I forgot to build our marriage. And I'm sorry. I'm so deeply sorry." There was silence on the other end. Then she heard David's voice, thick with emotion. "I thought you didn't care anymore." "I care," Emma whispered, tears rolling down her cheeks. "I care so much. Can you come home? Can we just talk? Really talk?" "I'll cancel everything," David said immediately. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. While she waited, Emma looked at the birthday card again. She thought about Margaret, alone at 60, carrying the weight of regrets. She thought about her own mother, who had passed away 2 years ago. Toward the end, her mother had said, "I'm proud of your success, but I wish I had seen you more." Emma had brushed it off then. Now those words cut deep. When David came through the door, they just stood there for a moment. Then Emma walked to him and hugged him tightly. He wrapped his arms around her, and she felt him shaking. "I miss you," he said into her hair. "I miss us." "Me too," Emma replied. "I want us back. I want to remember why we fell in love." They sat on the couch and talked for hours. They talked about their fears, their loneliness, their dreams that had gotten buried under ambition. They cried. They laughed. They held hands like they used to. Emma made a decision that day. She would step back from the daily operations of her company. She would hire a CEO to manage things. She would be present in her life, not just successful in her career. 2 months later, Emma tracked down Margaret through the agency. She found her living in a small apartment in a neighboring city. When Margaret opened the door, her eyes widened in surprise. "Mrs. Chun?" "Please," Emma said, "call me Emma. I came to say thank you. Your card changed my life. You helped me see what really matters before it was too late." Margaret's eyes filled with tears. "I'm glad. I didn't know if I should leave it. I thought maybe I was overstepping." "You saved my marriage," Emma said. "You saved me." They talked for a long time. Emma learned about Margaret's daughter, who she hadn't spoken to in 5 years. With Emma's encouragement, Margaret called her that very day. The conversation was difficult at first, but it was a start. Emma also learned that Margaret was struggling financially. Without hesitation, Emma set up a trust fund for her, not as charity, but as gratitude for the wisdom that money couldn't buy. Years later, Emma would tell this story to young entrepreneurs who asked for her advice. She would say, "Success means nothing if you're alone at the top. The richest person isn't the one with the most money. It's the one surrounded by people they love and who love them back." David and Emma renewed their vows on their 10th anniversary. Margaret was there, sitting in the front row, next to her daughter and granddaughter. When Emma looked at her, Margaret smiled and nodded, and Emma understood. Some gifts come in simple white envelopes. Some teachers wear housekeeping uniforms. Some wisdom arrives exactly when you need it most, if only you're willing to listen. The birthday card still sits on Emma's desk, a daily reminder of what truly matters. Not the deals closed or the money made, but the moments shared and the love nurtured. Because in the end, that's all we really have. If this story touched your heart, please share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below telling us about a moment when someone's simple kindness changed your life. Your story might inspire someone who needs to hear it today.